Good morning. Hey, this is Kenny Martin at Competition Cars and Classics. Let's talk. That's right, I want to talk to you. Talk to you about something that's been weighing on me a little bit lately. What do you think the toughest thing is about being a car dealer, about being an owner of a car dealership? It's not the paperwork. It's not the taxes. It's not buying and selling cars. It's not all the bills. The hardest thing for me personally is saying no. So what do I mean saying no? Well, I'll tell you, me personally, I want to say yes. I always do. I want to. I want to help everybody. But I have to look out for my business. I have to do what's right for my business and my customer. And, lately, for some reason, last month or two, I've had a few phone calls from customers that's had problems with the vehicle that they bought from us. That's gonna happen. It does happen. The hard part is saying, no, I can't fix it for you. That is the hard part. I want to fix everything. I want a happy customer. But I have to look out for my business. I had a 80-year-old lady call me that bought a car from us over a month ago, about 2 months ago, I believe it was. And she had transmission problems. I had to tell her no. I'm not going to fix it. I can't fix it. That's hard to do. It's hard to say no. I had a phone call yesterday, which was kind of the icing on the cake when I'm sitting here doing a video. Phone call yesterday. A guy bought a car from us 5 months ago. Transmission problem. Asked me if we could fix it. No, we can't. We can't. Had another phone call from someone bought a car from us, Subaru from us 2 months ago. Had head gasket issue, started leaking oil. Wanted us to fix it, wanted us to help. No, I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't. And I know a lot of us are gonna disagree on this. A lot of you are gonna disagree with me on this, but it's the right thing to do for my business. We go over our cars as well as I think any dealer out there can. We spend a lot of money getting these cars ready for the front line, getting them ready for sale. However, we cannot fix everything. We cannot see everything that needs fixing. We cannot anticipate everything that is going to break. When you buy a new car, brand new car, they either come with a 3-year, 5-year, or 10-year warranty from the manufacturer. Most of the cars we sell are over 5 years old, some over 10 years old, some over 15 years old. And if the manufacturer cannot warranty their product for that length, how can I? I did not build it. I cannot look inside an engine, I cannot look inside a transmission to see what is going to fail. Every car we sell, we have a little form here called a buyer's agreement. And on it says what you're buying. No warranty has been implied or given. Once driven off our lot, there are no guarantees or warranty of any kind given. Competition Cars and Classics recommends and allows an outside inspection of any vehicle we sell. We encourage you to take any vehicle we have to your mechanic before making a purchase. We want you to know what you're buying. We want you to have your mechanic look at it. If your mechanic can't find a problem with it, how can we? In every ad that we place anywhere, it says you are encouraged to have a mechanic inspect the vehicle prior to purchase. Some mechanical and cosmetic faults can be expected in a used vehicle, and buyer is responsible for any repairs. Our descriptions and photos are meant to give a realistic view of damages and flaws that we know of. There can be unknown issues. And we try to make it as plain as we can that it's going to break. Every car is going to break. The new cars manufacturers, they limit their warranty because they know their car is going to break at some point, and that's why they limit them. And even the ones that give you a 10-year warranty, they expect you to be the average American and trade it in after 5 years. They're not counting on having to warranty that car that full 10 years. Most people don't keep a car 10 years. Their life changes, their wants change, their needs change, their budgets change. They change cars. So the manufacturers aren't expecting to. We do offer extended coverage service contracts from an outside source that are, man, they're cheap compared to the market. They start out at $199 for 3 months, 4,500 miles. And I don't try to push them on anybody. I'm not trying to sell anybody those warranties. They're not a major income source for us. I promise you, $199 is nothing for us, but it does offer the customer some coverage if they want it. Getting that phone call that there's been a problem with the car, sometimes, like I said, I want to help everybody, but sometimes I also feel like I have failed to properly explain what as is means. The government has us post a buyer's guide on every vehicle on our lot. It has to be posted. Big, huge fine if it's not. And that buyer's guide you have to sign when you buy the car, saying it is as is or it has a warranty. All of ours say as is. In the eyes of the government and in the courts, that's all we need. Once you leave this lot, if you pull out in that road and the car breaks in half, as a saying goes, you own both halves. Man, we try not to look at it that way, I promise you. Have I ever fixed a car after someone's bought it and it's broke? Sure, man. A day or two later, if somebody has a major problem, I try to do the right thing. We try to do the right thing. Sometimes that even bites you. I don't mean to make the video too long, but I'll give you an example. I had a mechanic. Guy's a mechanic for a living. Bought a car from us. He checked it out, took it to his garage, checked it out. Everything's great. Test drove it. It's great. Next day he calls me. Transmission's slipping. I said, seriously? Yeah, it's slipping. And I went to his place of work and drove the car myself. Sure enough, transmission was slipping. I told him, give me a little bit, I'll get back with you. I come back, I priced transmissions for the car. I found where you could get one in the junkyard, about $800. I call him up, I tell him, I say, look, I personally, I don't want to fix the car. I don't want to have to put a transmission in it. I don't want to have to deal with it with my garage. It slows down the process of my other cars. You're a mechanic. I tell you what, I'll write you a check for $1,500. That'll cover the cost of transmission and pay you some labor for having to do it yourself. And you fix your car. The guy's happy as he can be. He's, yeah, great, man, great. That'd be great. I took him a check to his garage, $1,500. And that evening, 7, 8 o'clock at night, I get a phone call on my cell phone. Hey, I'm broke down on the side of the road. My transmission completely went out. Won't pull the car. Okay. So, sir, I'm sorry, but I did my part. We've settled. We're good. You knew the car had transmission problems. You drove it anyway. You need to get a tow truck. I'm done. There's also a thing with implied warranty. If you do fix a car after you've sold it, the courts can use that as an implied warranty, and they can require you to warranty that car forever. We have a form called a goodwill repair form that we can have the customer sign that lawyers came up with to protect us, the dealer. But if you fix something after you've sold the car, you can open up a whole nother can of worms. So anyway, this guy, I guess he has a car towed, whatever, and The next day, and the guy's a young guy, mid-20s or so. Next day, I get a phone call from the guy's father saying, "You sold my son a piece of junk. You should fix it. You should take the car back. Um, you know, what would you do if someone did your son that way?" And I told him, I said, "Well, sir, me and your son, we settled. I paid him what was a fair amount to have that transmission fixed. And if it were me, what I would do if someone did that to my son is I'd call and thank them, because I, the dealer, didn't have to do anything. Legally, I had to do nothing." And I gave him a check for $1,500. I said, "I think we went above and beyond." And he said, "Well, that's not the way I see it." And I said, "Well, okay, then we'll just have to disagree, sir. But we're square. We're good, you know." And so then the son goes online and starts leaving bad reviews about us and everything. I protested the reviews and had him took down. And he continued, and I had to send him a letter stating that if he continued, I'd take him to court for slander. Because he wasn't telling the whole story. He wasn't telling we paid him to have a transmission replaced. He was telling everybody he bought a car from us and the transmission went out the next day. He wasn't lying there, but he left out the important part that we did the right thing, and we got bit. We still got bit. So things like that happen, We try to do the right thing, always. But sometimes the right thing is saying no. Legally, the right thing is to say no every time. Morally, I can't do that. Wish I could, but I can't. It'd be better for my business, for sure, as far as the bottom line, but would it be better for my business in the long run with reviews and reputation? No, it wouldn't. We try to do the right thing, even though sometimes that bites you in the tail. But that's what I want to talk to you about today. As is. When you buy a car as is, it's as is. It's your baby once you buy it. Once you buy it and you leave that dealer's lot, every responsibility on that car is yours. When you buy every fault it has. You buy the whole thing. The transfer of ownership takes place when you've signed the papers, paid for the car, and leave that dealer's lot. If you buy a car as is. And, it's hard for me sometimes separating my personal feelings from what I know I have to do for my business. But we're here to make money, folks. Profit is not a bad word. We have to feed our family. We do our best to put a good car out there, a good, reliable car that'll last. But we cannot guarantee you a car with 150, 180,000 miles is going to last a day, a week, 5 years. We don't know either. We just do our best to put a good car out there and go over it well. And you, the customer, have to do your best to go over that car. Take it to your mechanic. I can't stress that enough. Take it to your mechanic, whether you're buying a car from me, whatever lot you're buying from, and get that car looked at before you buy it. Before you buy it, not after, before. And if you do have problems after you buy it, know that the dealer is not liable to fix anything. They are not liable if it's an as-is sale. Look at the extended warranties. They are, I keep them right here. For your motor and transmission, 3 months, 4,500 miles is $199. That's from an outside company. That's not me. That's an outside company that's going to give you some coverage. Do they cover everything? No, they do not. It's still limited coverage, but they do cover something if you want that coverage. If you buy a used car, understand it is going to break. It's going to break. Every car we sell is going to break at some point. It might be a day, it might be a week, it might be a month, it might be 5 years. Something's going to break. And you, when you buy it, you own it. You're responsible for repairing it. And The hardest thing for me to do is say no when somebody calls me needing that repair done. And because I know the hardship, I've felt it before too, man. I've had cars break down. My truck broke down on me not too long ago with a fuel pump. My son's Subaru, we had to do the head gaskets, we had to do the timing belt, we had to do the water pump, all that on it not too long ago. It's expensive and it hurts the pocketbook. I understand. But I want you to understand the dealer is not the bad guy. You know, in most cases, I'm not saying some of them don't put things out there knowing there's a problem and just try to unload it. Sure, that happens. That happens. That's why dealers have the bad reputation. But understand, we don't make the cars. We do make them as safe and as reliable as we possibly can. But we're not liable. We are a business. And we have to separate our feelings from being a human being and being a business sometime. And that is the hardest thing to do for me as a car dealer. Y'all have a great day. Sorry this video is so long. I just had to get it off my chest.